Hi, I'm Dan Perky. I've said before that if everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. That's an important concept to keep in mind whenever you're in a discussion that involves having people do certain tasks by a certain time. Often, when you ask someone, what are the priorities you're working on, they'll either respond with a pregnant pause, or they'll start rattling off a ton of different items in no particular order. Neither of those is a good response. If you can't remember what your priorities are, then how important can they really be, and why even call them priorities? If you've got a million items to list, then you're in that camp of nothing is really a priority. Oh, sure, you're busy, but with what things that are significantly moving the business forward? It's not enough to be busy. The goal is to be productively busy in the service of fulfilling the larger company goals or priorities. Understanding true prioritization is what will allow you to reach that goal. So, how do you recognize a true priority when you see it? Well, first, it's part of a small set of other true priorities, those really important things that you want to achieve, probably no more than 5. If your so-called true priority is buried in an avalanche of other so-called priorities, then it isn't possible to be a true priority. Second, it should be stated in terms of a goal. A great format is something like, we'll move from X to Y. This is a simple, clear way to communicate. In this format, X is the current state of affairs, where you are with your current metric. Now, if you don't have a metric, in essence a number, that's a problem that we'll cover in another video. Y is the future state of affairs, or the goal that you want to achieve, again, in terms of a number. For example, a good starting point priority statement could be, we want to move our current on-time installation performance from 70% to 95%. Now you've got something tangible you can grab a hold of and do something with. Third, inextricably linked to the priority statement must be a who's accountable for the completion and success of the priority. The who can't be a department or organization, since that dilutes and deflects true accountability. The more nameless who is, the more people can hide behind a screen of anonymity and not do what they've been charged to do. They can always blame it on someone else because they personally haven't been identified as part of the effort. Use names. If you don't know who's driving the boat, you can't effectively point out when you see the boat veering off course in order to do something about it. Fourth, a goal is worthless unless it's prioritized with an associated deadline. Deadlines really are the essence of priorities. They force you to take action and plan because time is a finite quantity. Actions take time. Seems obvious, but if you don't really understand and incorporate that concept into your plans to accomplish the goal, you'll never get there. Your priority will be relegated to a lower level in the practical world. A deadline makes it a real, tangible entity with meaning. A deadline moves the task from the theoretical pie-in-the-sky realm to the practical, real world. Now add this component, and you have a true priority. A true priority must have action attached to it. Essentially, who, the accountable person, will do what by when. A complete true priority statement might sound like this. Jane Smith will lead the effort to move our current on-time performance from 70% to 95% by June 30th, 2015. Clear, succinct, accountable, and actionable. Let's not overlook that word actionable. True priorities are defined by actions, not by words. Having your nice little true priority statement means nothing if you don't do anything about it. Flapping your gums does nothing but delude you and others into thinking you're really busy when you're really not doing anything that productively advances the overall business in a significant way. True priorities need to be so ingrained into your consciousness that every time you do anything else, you'll stop and question why you're spending time on a task that's not a true priority. If it's a true priority, treat it as such. The first time you deviate from that prioritized task, you've just moved that item from a priority to a non-priority. Is that really what you meant to do? Did you really mean to devalue a true priority? Do you understand that you set the example for others and yourself when you don't act in congruence with your talk? Do you understand that your credibility and integrity are now at issue? An interesting exercise for you would be to ask some key questions of people when they throw out statements like, "I'm too busy to work on that because I've got other priorities." Oh, really, you might say. What's your number one priority? Who's the lead for that effort? What metrics do you want to change? When do you plan to get that finished? Now, you'll probably want to avoid the impression of a police interrogation, but if you ask those types of questions in a culture that truly understands priorities and embraces open and honest communication, it'll help keep people focused on the tasks and priorities that they've agreed to focus on. You can read more about true prioritization in the management book, Uncommon Sense Management. If you'd like more personal interaction to help your business achieve greater efficiency, effectiveness, and profitability, contact us via any of the methods that follow.